creepy snowman. But like, really well Oh, that's hilarious. Alright, I was not gonna go for a walk today, but then I decided I needed to get my walk in, and I don't know if you can see behind me or not. Well, I can see on the screen that you can see behind me that it is kind of pretty outside. The tree behind me is like completely covered in snow for the time being until we get the freezing rain later. So that's exciting. Not really. Losing my grip here. So yeah, I thought I would try and do the vlogging thing with the rear-facing camera or the selfie camera and see how awkward I feel. I'm trying to like figure out like where to look so that I'm looking at the camera instead of like my usual eyes darting all over the place, which I don't know if I'm going to be able to do that very well or not. So we're going to see what happens. It's actually kind of pretty out. It's a little slippery. I did finally order some I think I'm going to mispronounce it, crampons or spikes for the bottom of my waterproof boots so that I can get around. It was a real problem walking around or walking up to the park today because everything's covered in snow and most people are not shoveling their walkways. Massive problem. And a massive problem really in my neighborhood. A lot of the landlords are just not taking care of their sidewalks, which means anybody in a wheelchair or a mobility device is not getting around in this unless they're in the street. So that's fun. And I had trouble as a mostly able-bodied person walking through the snow and getting up here. And it is a lot more physically taxing to walk through this stuff than it is to just walk on a dry sidewalk. So that's something to think about. I got a mile in so far, and we'll see how much further I get. I did have some notes for things to talk about on the vlog today, but I don't know if I'm going to get there. I think I'm just going to complain about the snow and the rain and the lack of snow removal. Get some shots of this place. It's kind of pretty. I also took a picture of the snow person that the art school kids made. It's pretty funny. Alright, so back to it. Apparently this won't do high def when I flip it to the front, or yeah, it's a front facing camera, not the back camera. So, so most values journaling instructions will tell you to do, 10 words, and then explore those. I always do as many as I can, and then I look for themes within those words. So, I might circle 20 or 30 words and then group those words into themes. And one of the things that I noticed when I reviewed my words that I'm doing for this series, and when I also looked back at my words, I had never circled the words health or wellness, even though those are majorly important things for this year. So I had to go ahead and add health and wellness to my list of values for this year, because it is something that I am putting a great importance on this year. And I've talked about that in a previous vlog, the one why I walk, which I'll link here. I think I'll put a link up here at some point. So, yeah, I was like thinking about that, and I was convinced that health and wellness were not on the list. And guess what? They were on the list. I just hadn't circled them because I just glanced right over them because it's never been something I've put importance on ever. I've always had work and career and education, and all of that has always been on my values list. My health and my wellness have never been on my values list, which is why I'm where I'm at today. I'm out walking in a snowstorm and, having to take care of myself in a way that I didn't have to 20 years ago. But I thought that was kind of wild. But that's also the sort of thing that becomes apparent when you do values journaling. These things come to light and are highlighted for you in a way that you really can't ignore. Like, I couldn't ignore the fact that I'd been ignoring health and wellness for most of my life. I mean, I put a great priority on my health and my wellness up until about my mid 20s. And then I stopped being concerned with it because I was working all the time and trying to prioritize your health and wellness. When you're working 60 hours a week and you're trying to make a career, not always possible, depending on your mentality. And obviously, that was not my mentality. We're getting a little bit of a breeze here. It's part of the storm. We've been getting like really high winds as part of the storm blowing through. It's coming in off the ocean, and it's a little chilly. I'm warm because I'm wearing long underwear, and so this is another thing. Like, I bought yak tracks so that I could walk on the slippery sidewalks, because if I'm making my health and wellness a priority, spending $20 so that I can walk safely and not break a hip or elbow or shoulder is very, very important. So that was a thing that became very apparent as I was doing my values journaling. And the values journaling is also a component of my health and wellness, because my mental health and my mental wellness. So doing that as part of my journaling practice is important too. You'll be able to print that off, and you'll be able to go through and gather as many words as you think are important to you. Then you go through and you compile that into a list of like 10 themes. That's what I do. I always group those words into themes. So for me, it was like work-life balance in my life, the health and wellness. Those all went into one overall health and wellness theme, because I think work-life balance is a big part of health and wellness. And then, my friends and family and chosen family, that was another one. Being curious and creative was another kind of overarching theme. I'm not going to go over all of them. So then what I do is I take each one of those themes or groupings of words or single words, and I explore them fully in my journal. So I just write why is that important? Why is that a value? Why is that something that I need to pay attention to in my life? And I just go really deep on that, and I ask myself why. Why is this here? Why is this on this list? And I go as deep as I can into that value, into that theme, so that I can really understand why I put it there. And then I start exploring in the next section of the journal, start exploring got crows in the cemetery. I start exploring the things that I can do to bring that value more fully into my life. And so that's something I'll explore in the next video. But thank you for watching and, checking out these videos and sticking with my weird little vlog series. I do appreciate it. I'm going to get some weird shots of the cemetery with snow on it. Maybe. It's a little cold, and I think it's time to head home. I've got a couple miles in. So also thank you for sticking with me on my accountability journey with my health and wellness. I keep looking at the wrong side because the camera is usually on the opposite side, but it's right there. So I gotta make sure I'm looking over here. I gotta figure out how to bring attention to this camera from now on. Anyway, thanks and bye. Alright, here's the thing I don't understand. This giant, drippy pizza slice mural. This used to be a Chinese restaurant. Now it's a seafood restaurant. Why is there a pizza slice on the door to the seafood place? Former Chinese food place, now seafood place, pizza slice. Chinese food place, now seafood place, pizza slice, no pizza place ever.